Hey everybody, welcome to Tim Untethered. I am Tim, and yeah, I'm still very, very, very much untethered. And I might add, enjoying almost every minute of it. So this video is a bit of a departure from my previous videos. In short, this video is for those of you who are new nomads, or maybe you are aspiring nomads, or maybe you've had some issue finding your own tribe, your own people. And I think that I might have a couple of tips that might just help you out. So stick around and I will be right back. A little context here. A couple years back, I went to my first RTR. That'd be the year before last. And for whatever reason, I got it in my head that I would somehow magically show up in the midst of a few thousand people, much like myself, and I would just connect. Like all of these people were like me, and they're not. And I showed up, and while I had a great time and met some tremendously wonderful people, I never found my people, my tribe, my clique. And I was a bit disappointed. And, you know, I think that understandably so, you can sort of, Tim, what did you expect? It's just not that easy. This time around, it has been profoundly different for me. And I was just taking some notes, and I was talking to some of my new nomad friends. Some have been around a while, and I came up with 5 things that I think will help you if you are interested in finding your own people and connecting with your own tribe and enjoying the community that is out here. In no particular order. The first one is understanding that this isn't just about one event, okay? It used to be, and for those veterans, if you think that I'm wrong, please comment below, but the RTR was sort of the focus. And a lot of sort of satellite events popped up in its orbit to sort of support, in support of the RTR to help promote these ancillary events. And over the years, these events have matured and they can stand on their own now. And so as a result, you have this season of community that lasts from, let's say, November to mid-November-ish to February 1st, right around that period. And in that period, you're going to find events like the Van Build Fest. You're going to find the Boondockers Bash, which would cover also sort of the Thanksgiving celebration. There is a Christmas and New Year's event. There is the Party RTR, did I say that right? And of course Schoolie-Palooza, and obviously the RTR. So there is this cacophony of events that will keep you busy from one day to the next. And for the most part, they're sort of staggered in a very complementary style, so you can bounce from one to the next. So if you come out here and you're expecting to just go to the RTR, you're missing out on a lot of this, because part of what happens is that you see the same people at all of these events, and it's a lot easier to talk to somebody when you've already seen them. So rather than just feeling like you're dropped into these group of thousands of individuals, if you can hang out for the season, or at least a part of it, it should go a long way to you finding your people. I would also add that the RTR is a lot different than it used to be, in that there's not one main group or camping sort of location, and people are scattered out all over the region. So it's going to be much more difficult than just sort of wandering around a campground and enjoying different people in different locations. Number 2, this was this was probably the most profound benefit that I wasn't even expecting, and that is to volunteer. I know that the RTR accepts volunteers, certainly the Van Build Fest does, and I can talk a little bit more about that. You would have to check into these other ones, but you can find out just by subscribing to a variety of these Facebook groups, for example, and you can find out where these events are and if they need any help. Now, the Van Build Fest, contrary to what you might believe, you don't really need any experience. I came with some experience as it related to solar installations, but others in our team didn't have that luxury, but it didn't matter. They could still contribute in a variety of different ways, and they did, and it was incredibly helpful. And the flip side of that is that not only did they learn more about what it was that we were doing, and in this case solar, but they made connections with other individuals, as I did. I got to know so many different people being there. And the environment is so pro-community and helpful, and everybody, I shouldn't say everybody's in a great mood, but it's just a terrific way to connect for a very good reason. And so that sort of set the tone for me. I don't think I would have had that luxury had I not volunteered. So I'm not saying that you need to volunteer for 2 weeks, but if there's anything that you can do, let's say during the next van build, I would strongly consider that you do that, or volunteer at the RTR or any one of these other events. Tip number 3, advertise that you are part of this larger community. And you can do this any number of ways. You can have a sticker on your car. You can wear a hat that promotes the nomadic lifestyle. You can wear like an enigmatic nomadic Van Build Fest t-shirt, or something from your favorite nomadic YouTuber, for example. Doesn't really make a difference. The purpose is simple, and that is that you can broadcast to other people that you are part of this larger community. And the reverse of that is that you can see others who are part of the community as well. Now, others around these areas, they might be completely oblivious to the importance of a Van Build Fest t-shirt, but you'll know it and everybody else will know it. So if you're in the laundromat or you're in the supermarket, the likelihood that you're going to be able to spark up a conversation is so much greater, rather than just being completely freaking anonymous. You are part of a huge tribe already, right? Make it known. So tip number 4 is really part of tip number 1, and that's regarding events and the season of events. It is tricky sometimes to attend a larger event and you just have swarms of people around you and you're trying to connect, and it can be a bit freaking overwhelming. So consider attending some of the smaller meetups. For me, I went to, of course, Deborah Dickinson's event, traveling with the Graham Cracker, for example. And then there are other, what they call meetup opportunities. And I would strongly encourage you to attend these. The beauty is that you're going to see between 30 and 50 or 80 different people at these events. And you're going to be there over the span of a few days. You're going to eat together. You're going to have breakout sessions. You're going to hang out around the campfire or do karaoke or whatever the deal is. Or I'm not doing karaoke, but maybe you'll watch karaoke. It's a lot easier to get to know these individuals in a more intimate setting like that. And if you attend a few of these different meetups, you're going to see some of the same people too. And it's going to be a heck of a lot easier for you to be able to sort of find your people in a more intimate setting like that. And then also when you move on from a smaller location, and whether you go to the supermarket or the laundromat or to some of these bigger ones, there's a certain confidence that it gives you that you freaking fit, man, right? You're not just an outsider. You are part of this community. I think I might have said that this is in no particular order, and it really isn't, but this is probably the biggest and most important tip that I can give you. Especially if you're an introvert like me and you don't really put yourself out there a lot, consider just saying yes more. If somebody invites you to go the Boondock in the Blue Water Casino parking lot, consider doing it. If they ask you out to brunch, or they ask you out for tacos, or ask you over to Randy's for a burger and onion rings, do it. Anytime that you have a chance to connect with these individuals, say yes. at least as much as you can, unless you have other plans. But I'll tell you what, this whole journey for me this time versus my experience a couple of years ago is in large part because I just sort of said, yes, I'm going to volunteer, right? Yes, I'd like to go to lunch. Yes, I'd like to share a camp with you. Yes, I'd like to boondock with you in the Blue Water Casino. These things are important, and sometimes it is just that easy. It's just not so much even putting yourself out there. It's just sort of nodding, going, yeah, that sounds cool. Let's do that. So those are my 5 tips for connecting. If you have your own tips, please leave a comment below because they will be helpful to other people that might stumble upon this video. Finally, the last thing that I will say is that especially for those of you who are either having a hard time finding a tribe, or those of you who are maybe it's your first time out for the RTR and you didn't have the benefit of attending any of these other events, please know that my camp, our camp, would love to have you here. Now, we are currently at the Plamosa BLM facility. We are just off of 95, probably 6 miles north of Quartzsite, probably 20 miles or so south of Parker. It is a reasonably convenient, maybe 20-25 minute ride into the RTR, into the La Paz County Fairgrounds. So if you feel like you just want a safe place to land where you can smile, enjoy the company of others who welcome you, hang around a campfire, man, you're welcome here. So just stop on by. Now, I do have a Facebook page called Tim Untethered. I would strongly encourage you, especially if you're interested in either stopping by and just visiting or camping with us, check that page first because I'm updating all of my statuses there. So if we change locations here, I want you to know. It'll also sort of describe to you where we are within this camp. And also, if anything should change or should it get filled up for some reason, I'll post that as well. And if you do come, feel free to bring beer if you want to. Feel free to bring additional firewood if you want. But otherwise, just know that you're welcome, and we would very much love to have you. So I think that's it. So I am Tim. Like I said, I am still untethered. I am still digging this, and I'm really looking forward to the RTR. Oh, and don't forget, on Thursday, January 23rd, I'm on a panel with 2 other individuals at the RTR regarding alternative ways of making money on the road. So if that interests you, come join us. Bye now.
Too many days in the darkness without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight.